What are the different types of behavior in psychology? Okay, take on this perplexing, twisted and complex perspective from a highly functioning autistic. Both are developmental disorders of the same family, not of the dark triad in a sense, more of complete opposites. It manifests as a lack of understanding one's own emotion. Do psychopaths lack emotion on the inside? Of course, they were born that way. Here's the perplexing agenda. They go off of logic and logic mainly. High-functioning autistics are on the other end of developmental diseases. They feel emotion, in fact, so much emotion that they don't understand it, and it can result in an existential meltdown from inside the box. Outside they show lack of emotion in their facial features, otherwise known as flat affect. An autistic is wired backwards, but genius and logical in the same sense. Here is the proof in the pudding. A psychopath, you would never be able to spot, because they blend in like beans in a coffee machine. On the inside, they suffer from not knowing oneself, like I. Or for better word choice, lack of understanding, due to lack of the feeling known as empathy. Strangely enough, a highly functioning autistic knows empathy, but has a difficult time expressing it on the outside. So many similarities. They both can explode with rage or lashing out, with no sign of remorse. Obviously, the autistic has remorse, but it is not evident on the outside. Anyway, a neurotypical would not understand, because they were not born in the form of a developmental disorder. Anyway, I think you get the point. Thank you for reading. I hope this gives you insight. Smiley face. P.S. I copied and pasted this, in the apathy of writing it again. Psychology is a very complex subject and discipline of science. We can never exhaust all the types of behaviors that exist. However, we can look at these 10. 1. Escapism. This happens when people want to ignore an obvious problem, such as the fact that you are an alcoholic and do not want to let the bottle go. It is also called living in denial. 2. Conformism. This happens when people choose to just follow the crowd regardless of what they are following, whether good or bad. 3. Rebellion. This happens when people choose to fight back and take matters in their own hands. 4. Responsibility. This occurs when people are so well-mannered and accountable. 5. Group mentality. This happens when people do not have a sense of self-identity and just copy anyone that they see. It leads to crime and drug abuse. 6. Withdrawal. This happens when people lose hope in life and do not want to associate with society. 7. Narcissism. This is the worst and occurs when people think too highly of themselves. They also become mean and heartless. 8. Retribution. This occurs when the law fails and people decide to fight for themselves to get justice. 9. Egoism. This is so much like narcissism but is brought about by people always getting their way or too much attention from women or men. 10. Piety. This shows up when people get religious about everything. At times it is good, whereas at others it is just followed by self-righteousness. Socially acceptable, or appropriate, and aberrant. We could also subdivide the behavior spectrum into psychotic, delusional, neurotic, obsessive, and within acceptable societal norms. Though there will be overlap between all of those. I need to add that in psychology as a discipline, there are no codified, different behavior types, as you asked. I just attempted to answer your question as per what I think your true question was. But your wording would, for example, never be found on a college psych test. It'd be tantamount to asking, what are the different types of people in sociology? See what I mean? Overly vague, and open to far too many interpretations.